Let's talk about Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Imagine, the year is 2008. It's been over 6 years since the last Smash game. And not just any Smash game, Super Smash Bros. Melee, the best-selling game for the GameCube, a game that still has an active competitive community to this day, 2019. The game's so good they had to make a follow-up. You just didn't expect it to take this long. The gap between Smash 1 and 2 is only 2 years, and you've been waiting a while. The game was announced 3 years ago, and it was supposed to be released last year before it got delayed. The build-up, the hype, everything that was leading to this moment, it was just so much. Brawl is finally out, after so many years, and you turn the game on, and it's like everything is moving in slow motion. Brawl was just about the farthest the series got from competitive play. Controls were floaty, hits done with so minimal, combos were basically non-existent, and there was no way to turn random tripping off. Add to that the fact that Meta Knight is still allowed in some tournaments, and needless to say, Brawl is not the game you waited 6 years for. 1 year later, things start to change. In 2009, an exploit called Smash Stack was found. Console exclusives are normally unmoddable without an emulator or homebrew, but Brawl was different. Players found that when entering Stage Builder, the Wii read whatever was on the SD card looking for stages, and players found a way for the Wii to read whatever they wanted, without homebrew or an emulator. And that's when something incredible happened. The modding scene for Brawl exploded, and is still active to this day. So I'm going to be going over every single major mod based on this chart made by the Legacy team, organized by how close the mods got to the original, whatever the heck Brawl was. Let's get started. Balanced Brawl is probably the least ambitious mod out there, with the simple goal of balance changes. This mod made so many of them, there's no way I can go through them all, but some of the more important ones are the removal of infinites and random tripping. Also, I'm not going to say that every time all of these mods remove random tripping. Brawl Plus takes it a step further by implementing stage freezing, a mechanic where previously unviable stages like Luigi's Mansion were made viable simply by making them static. Brawl Plus is also one of the first of these mods to develop its own competitive scene, as it was featured in Apex 2010. Brawl Plus paved the way for competitive Brawl modding, but what if we took Brawl Plus and flipped it on its head? That's where Brawl Minus came from. Brawl Minus came from the simple philosophy of, if everyone's overpowered, then technically it's balanced. And it worked. The mod was featured at the same event Brawl Plus was, Apex 2010, as a side event, but it quickly became much more popular than Brawl Plus and is technically still in development, making it one of the oldest Brawl mods still in active development. Unlike the big one. Probably the most well-known Brawl mod out there, the source of the large majority of Brawl mods. The hype cannot be contained. I'm talking about Project M. Project M is a complete rework of Brawl with the goal of making it more competitive. Game speed was increased, characters were balanced, even given new moves in some cases. They re-added Roy, Pichu, and Mewtwo. Project M made Brawl the game fans wanted, and the fans definitely wanted it. Project M was featured in a side event in Apex 2013, and in 2014 it was an official bracket. And when it was removed in 2015, the backlash was indescribable, some would even say irrational. Apex 2015 was officially sponsored by Nintendo, so there was no way a mod like Project M would fly, but the game had such a passionate community, the organizer was given death threats. Coincidentally, 2015 was also the year development stopped. Project M 3.6 was considered, by the dev team, the finished version of Project M. Nintendo didn't sue, but it was clear that they were going to if development continued. But you can't kill a dream that easily. Project M may have stopped development, but that was only the beginning. You saw the chart. I think it's time for a lightning round of Project M spin-offs. Super Smash Bros. 3C, graphics overhauled to make Brawl look more like Smash 4, was reworked by the dev team to work with Project M. Project Plus, as the title suggests, this is a mod that takes the original Project M and tries to make it better in small ways like bug fixes, stock icons, and aesthetics changes. PM Netplay v4, the latest netplay build of Project M suitable for online play. This one doesn't change a whole lot, but the song list hits it out of the park. The devs didn't give a shit about copyright and added songs from Undertale, Shovel Knight, Hyper Potions, Persona 5, Xenoblade, and even My Hero Academia. Here's a quick sample.
Choose your character.
Super Smash Bros. Infinite. Holy shit, is that a character roster or an r/play screenshot? Over 100 characters, costumes that are pure chaos. You can play as Taboo. Wally is a skin for Rob. This one deserves its own video. Project MCC stands for Community Complete, with the goal of compiling all the content from every other build of Project M into one ultimate build, but it never really talks, so we're just gonna ignore it. Project M and Knuckles. Take a wild guess at what this one has. Project M Vinci Edition. Over 150 stages, custom skins, each with their own stock icons. Seriously, these skins are nuts. Most of these come from other builds, including Smash 3, which I already talked about. Project M EX. 70 characters! Why not? This one is similar to Infinite, but polishes it into something slightly less chaotic, with numerous characters like Taboo. Thank God. Super Smash Bros. 2. Is this even Brawl anymore? Everything has been tweaked to look more like Melee. Even some of the characters that were added in Brawl. This is basically Melee 2. This one spawned 2 other mods, Smash 2C, which added skins, and Smash 2 Plus, which takes a lot of minor tweaks that really aren't worth talking about. Whew, finally we're out of the lightning round. Time to talk about the actually relevant builds, aka those made by the Legacy team. First off is Legacy Tournament Edition. This mod was created with the goal of making a tourney-viable modification of Project M 3.6 that aims to only add new content while keeping the core content unmodified and unmoved. It's the build that's most optimized for competitive play. This build has more costumes, more stages, and a ton of extra quality of life changes and customization options. If you want a game that will push you to your limit while simultaneously making that limit fun and easy to break, this is the build you want. Legacy TEX is basically Legacy TV, but with all the content in Project M EX, and I couldn't find any info on the other two. Now we're getting to my absolute favorite part of the timeline, the Legacy XP branch. Project MXP is a pretty standard expansion mod with over 600 stages and Omega forms and such, but when the XP team merged with the Legacy team, they created the best Brawl mod ever, in my opinion. Legacy XP. Legacy goes for quality over quantity, with 7 completely original characters that play so well you'd think they were official creations. Geno is way too fun to play as, with lots of projectiles and attacks that do more damage if you time them right, just like in Super Mario RPG. Shadow controls similarly to Sonic, but his attacks are much more powerful and he's a bit slower. His varied moveset makes him one of the most formidable fighters in the game. Really is the most fragile nuke to ever grace the battlefield. His size makes his attacks very powerful and hard to avoid, but his hurt boxes make comboing him much easier. The point is, these characters weren't put in for the novelty of having them in Smash. They were put in with just as much love as an official fighter. And this thing is still in development, with the most recent update coming out March 23rd. The dev team even made a version called Legacy XP Lite, which comes with the full XP character roster, only with a competitive stage list. The Legacy team has contributed to Smash in a way that is untouched. I cannot thank them enough. Now there are still a few on here that I haven't talked about, but where's the fun in that? All you wonderful people deserve to have the same experience I did, to lose yourself in a world where a simple love of a children's party game turned into a project that touched the hearts of millions. So I encourage you, go out there, find your favorite build, get a tournament together, make sure that our Smash Brother, the passion project of so many, doesn't die. Brawl may be dead, but the community made something much bigger than that. To start your journey, just head over to the Brawl Vault. I promise there's something for everyone to fall in love with.